everybody. Welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. We're back for 2016 first episode. Rob Popplestone joins me. Poppy, how are you?
I'm going really well. Had a great break. Hope all of our viewers did as well. But there's so much sport happening in this state at the moment. You can't believe it. Like, it is just red hot.
All right, let's start with Port Adelaide. They've got drones at training now. So they've got the remote-controlled drones to field training, to have a look at where the players are positioning. What do you think about drones at training?
Well, I don't mind it, Smithy. I know we've had a disagreement prior to us going to air, but I don't mind it. You know, forever, last decade or so, they've had cameras at each end of the ground.
Yep.
So that they can, after training or after a match, have a look at the patterns of players, because there's a lot of set plays, as you know, in basketball as well.
Sure.
But the drone gives them that helicopter, that drone view, so that they can better explain to players ground positioning in set plays and in general play as well. I don't think it's going to be a significant difference, but it's all those 1%ers that make a difference.
You know, I'm getting tired of the 1%ers, honestly. Let's have the latest gadget. And I'm not saying
you know what, you've been too far out of coaching.
No.
Because when you were coaching, it was all about the 1%ers.
All right, let me ask you this. So
Yes.
Essendon got on track this week, the 12 players that
Yes.
weren't training. They're working with the fitness bloke.
Yes.
What, the skill guy's no good? So
No,
let's get.
okay.
I just think the shift has gone a bit too far. I'm not against the 1%ers. Fully understand you're trying to find the edge, but I think we've gone too far. If you look at it right now, all the coaches that you talk to, they say our skill levels are not good enough. Yet we spend more time on fitness, more time on drones, more time on this. Or they'll say we're not mentally tough enough. Hang on a minute, we'll do this and we'll do that.
Yep.
If you were in charge of the Essendon 12 right now, would you be spending? This is a personal opinion.
Yes.
Firstly, I would have given them 3 weeks out of the country to try and freshen them up, bring them back, start working on their skills and slowly build their fitness base up through the skill work.
Okay.
No, fitness first.
Look, I have to admit,
Have we lost perspective?
Yes, I don't get fitness. The emphasis on fitness to the exclusion of so many other things. I hate people that can't kick both feet, can't handball both hands, can't mark over their head, don't understand ground positioning because they've been running laps for 3 months. So there are some non-negotiables, and I think you need to focus on the skill of the game. No question about that. For the Essendon players, I think it's an interesting example, because I think more than anything, they actually need a mental refresh. I mean, they have been physically and mentally pushed now for a couple of years under the spotlight. So yes, I agree, they need a freshen up. And there's nothing that can't be caught up late in the season as they then prepare to join a pre-season with their club. And that way, you're actually getting players that have been refreshed and they could be of more value than they would have been coming off a season proper. Does that make sense?
I agree with you.
And so, I agree with that part of it. I would like them to spend more time on a player's mental state, skillful state, because you know what? Players like Andrew Jarman, Darren Jarman, Greg William, they wouldn't get a game because they wouldn't be able to pass the fitness requirement. And so that's where you've got to find the balance. I get your point.
So find the balance.
Yes.
Are we getting to that era where the club with the most gadgets is going to win?
Yes. Well, no, no. You need
the most talent.
Yeah, you need talent, but we all understand that the AFL is desperately trying to make it an even playing field. Even though we don't play each other twice and we play at certain grounds and neutral grounds, that aside, they want a level playing field. Because the clubs know that, they're looking for those, dare I say, 1%ers that we spoke about to give them the edge. And Essendon, it blew up in their face. I mean, other clubs have tried that as well. The Crows use cow's milk or mother's milk or whatever they use. Brisbane were trying to
saline drips.
So they're all looking for it. Some are obvious, some aren't obvious. Some are legal, some are in the grey area, some are illegal.
All right, well, we're talking about illegal, even though she's not South Australian. We have to talk about Maria Sharapova.
Wow.
Of course, meldonium has cost her $40 million in a day, and I would suspect there's a lot more to be lost. But I mean, she's made $238 million over her career, so I don't think it's the money. I think it's being caught. Guilty or not guilty?
Well, look, it's guilty. Unfortunately, it's guilty. And I'd like to fight the fight for Maria. If ever I'm going to fight for someone, she'd be in my top few.
Please.
But I mean,
because you admire her as an athlete.
Yeah. I respect her as a person, Phil. No, she's been great, except for a grunt, but she's been great for the game. I only, like most, I only learned about the drug in recent times. I didn't know too much about it prior.
Well, it's only just come on the drug list,
Yeah.
Meldonium, so it's new.
It'll be interesting to see how the governing body interprets it, because yes, she has reported using it for a long period of time. She should have been aware that it is now on the ban list.
Well, there were 5 emails that went out to notify the athletes.
Yes.
Individually, 5. She would have received 5 emails. Now, her defence was that I got it and I didn't read it.
Yes.
Ignorance is not a
No,
defence.
no, it's not.
I
No.
do not have one lick of sympathy
No.
for it. For mine, I think she's been cheating for a while and she's got caught.
Yeah, look, I think if you listen to people like Serena Williams and Kara Wozniacki, they basically both said, you know what you've been saying for a long time, you got to check 2, 3, 4 times. It is absolutely irritating, frustrating, time-consuming, but we're professional athletes.
29 years of age. She could get a maximum of 4-year sentence. I think she'll probably get 2.
Yeah.
Is her career over?
Yeah, I think so.
She's done.
Well, I think she's sort of on that second tier, dare I say.
Well, her body's starting to get some injuries as
Yeah.
well. So, all right, I want to ask you about this. The Adelaide Oval, great venue. Everybody
Great
talks
venue.
about it. We love it. Administrators' names on room. So we've got the Mark Rasciuto stand,
wait
the
a
Gavin Wanganeen
So
stand.
now you've had a go at Maria Sharapova,
No,
you've had a go at drones,
just-
now you're having, what's going on?
I'm just bringing things to your discussion
Okay,
point, mate.
okay.
Why would we have and I like these blokes, so I like Max Bashir, like Lee Wickett,
Yes.
Ian McLaughlin. Why have they got a room? Why are administrators got a room at a footy ground?
What's brought this on?
I'm just asking the question because a couple of weeks ago I was walking around Adelaide Oval. There were a group of people walking around. They'd finished a tour. They came out and they recognised me, which was very, very nice of them.
Yes. They asked where your room was.
Well, no. And they'd be absolutely totally offensive if there was a room there for me. But they were asking me who these people were. Knew who Mark Rasciuto was. Knew the Neil Curley room. Knew the Graham Corns room. Who were these people?
Well, hang on a minute. They
who are they?
have been contributors.
In the sporting world.
They have been contributors to their respective sports for a long period of time. We're talking decades and decades and decades, blood, sweat and tears, to bring what is now the jewel in the crown of this state, a beautiful Adelaide Oval. I've got no problem with them being recognised. And you
disagree.
mentioned Mark Rasciuto or a Gavin Wanganeen.
Yep.
Yes, they've been great for a decade or 15 years and paid handsomely to do that, and on the back of that they're recognised with a beautiful acknowledgement at the Oval. But these administrators have given 30, 40 years. Yes, they've been paid along the way too, but they've created this from which they play on. So I've got no problem with it.
All right. Did Mark Rasciuto generate any money? Did many people come through the turnstiles to watch him play?
Yeah, true.
How many people came through to watch those blokes?
Well, they didn't, but they created the gates for you to walk through.
And then got paid well for it.
They
so
did.
what about the personal assistant that's worked for those people for 30 years? Did they get a
No, they
named
didn't. No.
Why not?
But they do. They get to do this.
What?
I used to work with that bloke.
Yeah, well,
Max Bashir.
just an interesting one.
Okay.
On the upside of things, Adelaide United undefeated now in 14 games.
They are red hot.
Wind the clock back a little bit.
Yeah,
Start
sack
of
the coach.
season.
Sack the coach. Get rid of the players.
Absolutely right. Are they making money or losing money, Adelaide United?
I still think they're losing money.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it, when you're in that situation? Leighton Hewitt Davis Cup. Should he have played or should he? No.
Well, in hindsight, it's easy to say, but I thought I really have got to have come to respect Leighton in his last few years. But I think he made a bad mistake. I think he was given an opportunity to introduce someone, a no-name, to that and give them a taste. He's had it. He's been there. He's done it. He's done well. No.
All right, I'm a big fan of Leighton's. I think he got it wrong too for a couple of reasons. One, the fact that he'd retired 5 weeks ago. Is Tennis Australia in that bad a shape that we haven't got some young kids that we're going to develop now?
Who was the guy he played doubles with?
John Pearce.
Okay, so I didn't know who he was.
And most people didn't.
No, but I hadn't heard of him before. But guess what? He stood up when he got the opportunity. Surely there's another half dozen who, given the chance to wear the Australian colours, could have done something similar.
Well, when Leighton took the job, the first thing he did was he had a camp where he brought a lot of the young kids in. So I didn't quite understand. It looked like, and I think in his desperation and his love for Davis Cup,
I do get it.
For those reasons, he wanted to play. But I don't think it was the right decision.
No, me either.
Playing coach in tennis. We saw it in footy 30 years ago.
Yes.
Could you have it in tennis?
Yes, a couple of years ago, but not now.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, when I say a couple of years ago, Leighton a couple of years ago, not now.
All right, we need to go to a break. Plenty to come on the show. Hope you can stay with us for the next hour.